Hi friends, it's Majid Gavami and it's time for another episode of Majid's Hometown Connections. Today I'm at the KC Wellness. I'm going to be meeting with Dr. Carissa Stanton with Mindful Pediatrics. Let's check it out. Hi friends, I'm here today with Dr. Carissa Stanton. Thanks for having me. I've had the pleasure of helping Carissa and her family buy we've done 3 real estate transactions now. Is that right, over the years? So wonderful clients. Just really appreciate you guys so much. And we're here today at your new business. Super excited for you. Wanted to learn more about it. Yeah. First of all, I'm just curious, how long have you been practicing medicine for?
Well, this is going to age me.
Sorry, bad question.
No, it's okay. It's good for your doctor to be mature and wise.
Yeah, I like that.
I graduated med school in 2004.
Okay.
So, that's 18 years ago then. Yeah.
Doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah. And along that way, of course I did residency, both in general pediatrics, and then I did some pediatric surgery training. Did some training in integrative medicine, which is a new field where you use kind of natural approaches with modern medicine. So kind of an interesting field. Worked as faculty at University of Kansas Medical Center for a while.
Awesome.
Worked in a private practice for a while, and then decided to open my own practice.
And here we are. Amazing. So here we are, as you mentioned, at your new clinic. What made you decide to open your own?
Yeah, so like I said, I have some training that I got outside of medical school. I have an undergraduate degree in nutrition, and then I did this training through the University of Arizona in pediatric integrative medicine. So different than other pediatricians, I like to use natural approaches, holistic medicine, which is basically looking at the whole person, their mind, body, spirit, and environment, to try to get to the root of problems. Instead of just kind of, putting quick fixes or kind of Band-Aids on top of symptoms, actually get into the underneath on what's causing those symptoms, healing the body. As you can imagine, in a busy clinic with a lot of patients, only have limited time with those patients, don't know them very well, it's really hard sometimes. It became harder and harder to do those things when patients didn't have access to me for follow-up. I didn't have time to kind of dive into, root causes. So when I decided to open Mindful Pediatrics, what I decided was, okay, what are those barriers to me being able to provide that integrative, holistic medicine? And, basically it was too many patients, not enough time, not enough access. So that's where this model came about, where it's practice is a membership base. So I have limited members. They can text and call me directly.
Wow.
So there's that. I know.
That's amazing in itself right there.
Right. So there's that access piece. So that really allows me to push the envelope of approaching it with a healing, natural way, because I know if at any point it gets really bad, they can call me. So we can try natural things first. So that access was super important. And then of course time, being able to actually sit down with them, have a conversation, instead of 10 minutes, I have a full 1 hour for those wellness visits.
That's a game changer, I'm sure.
Right?
Well, and you truly are diving in, like you said, diving into it. I love that when you have that time to really understand what's going on with them, and you truly are building a relationship with your clients. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a game changer. It's really changed the way I practice medicine. I didn't realize how much I was doing before was just because I didn't have time and I had too many patients. And then when you can, you do have time and you do know the families, you're like, I've had families that have followed me through every practice, KU private practice to here. And like my first appointment with them with Mindful Pediatrics, I found the cause for their asthma. Like instead of just giving medication. I was like, why didn't I know this before? Because I didn't have those time and that access. So, and that's why, you know, my husband came up with the name Mindful Pediatrics when we were trying to brainstorm names, because he's like, that's how you live, is being mindful of, you know, mind, body, spirit, environment, you know, just being mindful of everything. So
that's amazing. Yeah. Shout out to Jared for coming up with that name. That's a great name.
He is kind of, I call him my business consultant, my manager, but so.
Nice. Very good. Well, I love that story. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're based out of here in Overland Park. How did you get here to this location?
Yeah, so my practice, so I opened Mindful Pediatrics in April of 2020. So right at the start of the COVID pandemic, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, before that we had kind of thought we were going to open like, you know, a brick and mortar at the very beginning, but then COVID hit. And so originally I was just doing home visits and virtual care. Because at the time that's what kids needed.
Sure, yeah.
Right? So so I did that for a while. And then kind of as things kind of settled with everything with the pandemic, I kind of rented some rooms at some local wellness collectives to have a space there. And then as my practice kept growing and becoming more successful, we realized, you know what, we need an actual location, a brick and mortar where I have access to. And there were a couple other consultants that I work with a lot, that we share patients a lot. A lactation consultant, her name's Levy with Lactation Liz.
Nice.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, that's a great name.
And then Cody Skinner, who's an occupational therapist with Flourishing Babies. So lots of female owned businesses in the wellness community in Kansas City, which is
very
awesome.
Cool. Yes.
So, and I love supporting that. So we talked about getting a space together since we already share patients together.
Makes sense.
So that's where this idea of having this space, this collective for moms, babies, families that didn't feel like a medical clinic, but was more of a space, a welcoming, nurturing environment where you could grab a cup of tea, you know, and there were toys for the kids to play with. Something more like home-like feeling.
I totally felt that walking through your front door. It was this immediate just sense of welcoming and kind of at peace, and it wasn't intimidating like some doctors' offices can be. So you nailed it. You've done a great job.
Thank you. We worked hard, but because when I walked out of that, you know, busy private practice, I didn't want to go back to that stressful feeling, because I learn more about my patients when they're relaxed. And of course my patients, you know, we both get more out of it when everyone's relaxed. So we decided to open up a space that was just more comforting and home-like. We decided to call it, we thought a nest was a good like logo, because that's what we're trying to create, like a nurturing nest where families can come and feel nurtured. And so we called it KC Wellnest. Get it? The play on wellness.
Yeah, love it. Nailed that part too.
So, and it's a collective of providers who collaborate, provide co-treatments. We all bounce things off each other. Moms can make back-to-back appointments, so that way they're not going to different locations.
Yeah, that's a huge time saver for parents.
Yes, very convenient, because most of them go to all of us anyway. So being able to be that have that flexibility and convenience. So currently, the founders are me, Liz, and Cody. So we're here seeing patients, and then we also have two other nurse practitioners. One that does functional medicine, Jen Osgood with Wellness Pediatrics, and then Kendra Rose with Growing Pediatrics, who does primary care. So they see patients here.
Nice.
So good pediatric base. And then we just had a perinatal maternal health counselor who's going to start seeing patients here, Stephanie Reisinger with Hopeful and Whole. And she specializes in moms, preconception, pregnant, post-birth. So she is so good for our moms. So
amazing.
Like I said, we really want to.
Yeah, you guys are covering a lot of bases. I love that.
Very important. We got the mind, the body, the space.
Right. Yeah.
Still holistic.
Perfect. So, how do you see the future of children pediatrics? Where's it going?
Yeah, great question, because I think this is a perfect timing, because I think the silver lining to COVID and the pandemic was I think people, it made them slow down and realize, look, we need to take care of the vessel. We need to take care of this because it turns out when you're well, you're more resilient. I think it's also shedding some light, not to get too deep into things, but on our healthcare system here in America, it tends to be more reactive than proactive, meaning a lot of our healthcare revolves around waiting until someone gets sick and then intervening. And I think people are realizing we need to be proactive, especially with children, right? They have their whole rest of their life. So we have to make their body as well as we can to prevent illnesses, to make them more resilient, to prevent some things. I mean, chronic disease in America is just rampant, right? So, we have, obesity, type 2 diabetes, all autoimmune, we have all these things, and how can we either prevent or optimize or, help that? So the reason I think Mindful Pediatrics has been so successful is because I think people are waking up and realizing we need something different. We want something different for our kids. We don't want them to be treated like another number, cookie cutter medicine where everyone gets the same treatment. We want our kid to be treated like an individual. And a lot of parents want more say in their healthcare, want more choice in decisions instead of just following what everyone else does.
No, as a parent, this is like music to my ears. I love hearing this. I love your approach and how you see it moving forward. That's fascinating.
And so there's this whole movement, and so patients want it, one, so there's a need and there's, but two, doctors also, do you know how much more fulfilled I am knowing that I'm actually healing someone and getting to the root problem and knowing my patients and having the time to spend with them?
Yes.
It's more fulfilling for me too.
Oh, I bet.
So not only, both sides want this change. So it's going to have to be a grassroots effort. And from a doctor's side, we call this direct primary care. So it's direct to the patient. So it's membership based. You pay me directly. There's no third party in between. And that way, I ultimately work for you, and our decision is between us, and the care is between us, not third parties. Because insurance has its place, right? You have a catastrophic illness, it has its place, right? We still need it. But for primary care, it's really hard for a primary care doctor to get paid by insurance. Because it's so much proactive. It's really
There's a lot of that stuff, I guess, as patients, we don't know. It's kind of that behind the scenes, but you kind of eliminate that stuff, and it makes it, I think, a win-win for everyone involved.
And there's, on my website, I have a blog where I kind of have a table where I compare out-of-pocket costs, because ultimately, still with insurance, there's deductibles, there's out-of-pocket. You go to an ER visit, and it's at least $1,000, you know? So, it behooves. It actually is cost saving in the end if I can save a family from an ER visit. It can potentially save them money. So, but on top of that, I'm saving them the cost of, illness down the road by keeping their child more well. It's that benefit instead of, being reactive down the road, proactive. So that's a great question, and that's because I think big picture wise, my business being successful is showing the system, look, there can be a different way. There needs to be a different way, and families want something different. So supporting me is kind of supporting that grassroots effort.
Love it.
And change for the system.
I love that. So Carissa, when you're that busy practicing medicine and helping others, what do you like to do? What do you do with the family? What's your relaxation?
Well, thanks to you, we have a little homestead on 4.5 acres in South Olathe. So that's been our project. So we have 10 chickens. We have free-range eggs, so they literally wander our 4 acres. So if you drive by, you should see them. We have gardens where your salsa and your habanero jam I made for you is from our. I can't wait to try it. From our garden. So we have lots of other animals. We have rescued dogs, a rescued bunny and cat, and a little zoo. But I do yoga, and we have 2 college students, and we have a junior in high school that keep us busy. So yeah, all those good things.
And I know you guys like to travel, do a little traveling.
Yes, yes. We recently, my daughter and I went to South Africa, which
Amazing.
was the theme for this is, instead of an exam room, I have like an office here where a little play area for the kids, and Mom and I get to sit and talk just like this.
Yes. And it's beautiful, just an amazing office, so cool.
Yep. The kids all love the pictures, and we talk about Africa, and I show them videos, but we've been to Costa Rica, and we like to go to different places. So I think Europe's probably next on our list at some point, but yeah, and a lot of that is thanks to you and your help with all of our real estate needs.
My pleasure. You guys are dream clients, and I've truly enjoyed working with you guys and just helping you achieve your real estate goals. So thank you for the opportunity.
We always call you with these ideas and these challenges, and we're like, I don't think he's going to pull this one off. And then he makes the deal happen somehow.
Thank you.
Somehow, him and his team just make it happen.
Wow, we appreciate the opportunity, so thank you. So thanks so much for allowing me to take the time from your busy schedule to do all this, and we wish you continued success. So thank you.
Thank you. And you too. And if anyone, has challenges like we did to solve and real estate deals, then this is the guy. And I love you doing this. This just goes to show we use you because you're just genuine. You genuinely want to help people in the community. I love how you make a donation to a local charity every time we get a deal from you.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that too.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you so much. What an inspiring conversation. Amazing. Thanks so much for joining us as always. Be on the lookout where you're going to find us next.